Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to another Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, and this morning we are back live and with a very special guest this morning. Of course, Dr. Janine Fox is with us, but Dr. Kenneth Bull, also with Doctor's Nutrition, is with us this morning as Jim is out.
Yeah, he actually, and we're going to tell everybody where he is because everybody's going to be asking, but he had a procedure on his heart for an irregular heartbeat, and he had some complications. Like any medical procedures, you can have complications, and unfortunately he has, but he's okay. And I just wouldn't let him come because he needs to rest.
There you go. Well, anyway, this is a live show, and we're doing Open Line Monday on the show this morning, which means you can call in and ask questions regarding anything regarding health, because that's what the show is all about, is helping you live a healthier lifestyle. Our phone lines are 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. And we're just going to kick things off, and Dr. Bull, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
So I was born and raised down here in South Mississippi, in Lizana, if anyone knows where that
Everybody knows where Lizana is.
Way out
That's my old stomping grounds. I was out there this past weekend. I mean, Fazio's is out there, and all that. Used to be a skating ring out there. I went to Lizana Elementary for a couple of years. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. It's a great place to grow up. Graduated from Southern Miss with a bachelor's in exercise science, and then moved on to Palmer College. Got my doctorate in chiropractic, and then did postdoctoral education in functional medicine, which is what we do.
Yep.
Wonderful.
And he's been working for us for how many years? 5, 6? It's been a while.
I think I'm 6.5.
6.5, okay. It's been a while. And most people that come in know Dr. Bull because many people see him. It's just me and Jim have started this years ago, so we've always done the show, but now it's good to have him and have maybe some of his comments.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Well, this is, we do this. I know you've watched the show. You've seen the show and how it goes here on Monday morning, and especially when we do an Open Line Monday, we invite people to call in and ask questions regarding health. Could be, we don't have a specific topic for today. I think.
Well, we did Open Lines since we didn't do it last week. And last week would have been the first Monday of the month, which definitely is Open Line. And so we decided to do that this week.
Yes. Anyway, start out with one question that was emailed into us. Are there any foods that I should avoid if I have arthritis?
Well, with arthritis, and I tell people, listen, it makes a bit, there's different types of arthritis, but all arthritis is inflammatory. So you think about arthritis, it's inflammation. And whether it's rheumatoid or whether it's osteo or whether it's, even gout is one of the, you don't want things that are inflammatory. And you do want to stay away from packaged processed foods, and you definitely want to stay away from the grains especially gluten, when you have an inflammatory problem.
And I'm sure sugar is another thing.
Sugar is inflammatory.
Okay.
Sugar is very inflammatory.
Yeah, so I mean, typically all your processed type foods, things like that, refined sugar, all that good stuff that everybody loves to eat, does a lot of damage to your joints and just causes them to be more inflamed. So
over a period of time, I mean, the older that we get, I mean, they do deteriorate.
Yeah,
we want to focus on, good, quality meats, grass-fed beef, things like that, vegetables, stuff like that.
When it comes to arthritis, I mean, we have something that works really well also. Just throw it in, Pernimax. Pernimax does wonders for arthritis, again, osteo or rheumatoid. Rheumatoid, you have to be even stricter on the diet. I have found people with rheumatoid, with it being an autoimmune disease, definitely will flare up the joints. And there is a diet called the AIP diet, very hard to follow because it is very, very strict, but if you have rheumatoid, it's a very good diet to follow. It is hard though, because it eliminates a lot, especially at first. I mean, then they let you add some stuff back, but of course it's no dairy, no grains, and at first no nuts. It really cuts out no nightshade plants, cuts out a lot. But
chew water.
People can see a huge difference though when they do the AIP diet. It's just hard to follow. But if you're hurting, you'll do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes pain will make you do things you don't want to do.
Okay, another question. What are complications of a vitamin D deficiency?
So a lot of people will have fatigue, they'll be getting sick more often. Depression, though, depression's a big one.
It is. Depression is definitely vitamin D deficient. There's tons of research on vitamin D and omega-3, even together, deficiencies causing depression. And some of the research that I've seen uses vitamin D and omega-3, and they find that it works as well as some of the prescription antidepressants when used, together. Now, vitamin D, more is not, you don't want to go extreme. We've seen a lot of that since COVID, unfortunately. We used to never see anybody with high vitamin D. Seriously, one every blue moon. But now we're seeing more because people think, okay, more is better. More is not better. Like we always say, get your levels checked, know where you are, and because everybody's different on dosage. One person might need 10,000. The next person might need 2,000. We don't know. Everybody's metabolism's different. They absorb differently. Kids don't need as much as adults because they definitely do absorb better than someone that's, somebody that's 20 absorbs better than somebody that's 80. It's kind of duh. But you do want to look at the levels, and we tell people all the time, we do the levels, we talk about the lab work all the time. You want to check the lab work because that tells you where your vitamin D is. But really, fatigue and pain. With vitamin D deficiency, you hurt all over. People come in and are like, I am hurting everywhere. And sometimes it's pain everywhere, muscle pain, fatigue, depression, and immune system. No doubt, the immune system is affected by vitamin D. There's even a lot of studies that have been done, even by the government since COVID came out, showing that the optimal levels to keep you from being hospitalized from COVID is between 55 and 85. So it's even, the range is 30 to 100 when you do the lab work, but they actually say you want to be over 55 really to keep from being hospitalized. So it definitely plays a role in how sick you get when you get sick from really anything. So vitamin D is something that everybody should be in optimal ranges, especially today with all of these viruses coming out and all this weird stuff going around. You want to take something to help that immune system.
Is there a blood work that you can come in just to check your vitamin D?
Yeah, you can do just vitamin D.
Okay.
And I want to say now 35 to 40. It's either 35 or 40. 35? Okay. So you can do just your vitamin D, and then we always recommend after you've been taking it, whatever we tell you to take, you recheck it in 3 months to see if it's where you optimally should be. And then we adjust it.
And the other way to get vitamin D? The sun.
Sunshine.
Sunlight.
Yeah.
Just to
And
throw
it's
that
getting
out
that
there.
time of the year. So we woke up this morning with where did this northern
cold
come in
again.
from? It was quite chilly out there.
I do tell people get out the sun. Even if you take vitamin D, I think there's other things the sunlight brings to your health, and people don't get enough sunlight anymore. Everybody stays inside. And so you need to get out and get some sun.
I'll be hitting the pool every weekend.
At my house, huh?
Yeah, exactly. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open. This is our Open Line Monday, so if you have any questions regarding your health, pick up the phone and give us a call. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Well, it's 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. It's our Open Line Monday, in which we are taking your calls regarding anything regarding your health, because the show is all about trying to help you lead a healthier lifestyle. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. I had a question emailed to me. The older I get, the more I worry about osteoporosis. Are there any particular foods I should include in my diet to help strengthen my bones?
Well, there are things in our diet. There's a lot of things you can do other than diet as well. Now, there are definitely things that you want to get all your nutrients. You want to keep optimal health because bone density, that plays a role. I mean, everybody knows calcium and everybody knows vitamin D. So again, foods for vitamin D, really the best thing is getting out in the sun. There's not really as much food. They've really shown that you can't really get it as much from food as you can from the sun. But calcium, you want to get calcium. We don't supplement huge amounts of calcium. We'd rather you get it from the diet, which is greens have good calcium. I mean, you can in clean dairy. I don't like dairy if it's not organic because dairy is very contaminated.
How about the orange juice that says,
I don't like orange juice because there's just nothing but sugar.
Okay.
So, orange juice is just like, might as well drink
this is
Coke.
high in calcium.
It doesn't matter. You can get calcium other ways. So I always say, and honestly, one real good food, most people don't want to do it, sardines. The little bones in sardines is probably one of the best calcium you can get.
I used to love them,
When I was a kid?
Yeah, when I was a lot younger,
people don't-
crackers and everything.
Yeah.
Or the ones in the tomato sauce or the
hot sauce.
hot sauce, something like that. And the plain ones, unless you Now, how about anchovies on pizza?
Yep. Well, anchovies don't have the little bones in them. You got to have the bones, and then little sardines pack the do. So that's one of the good foods. Now, other things just for osteoporosis. Weight-bearing exercise has more research than probably anything out there that definitely shows that it actually helps. Now, one thing that really hurts bone density is stress. Unfortunately, they know high cortisol depletes the bone, just like taking steroids. It's their own body steroid. And when you produce too much of it, it's going to deplete those bones just like if you were taking a steroid. So the bad thing, I mean, the stress nowadays seems to get higher and higher, but controlling their stress, making sure you do your weight-bearing exercise, and for all these people that don't like to, even doing a weight vest. If you go walking, put a weight vest on and make your body have more density, more weight to help the density. There's also, like I said, vitamin D plays a huge role in it, so make sure your vitamin D is in optimal range. But that alone is not going to help the density without having the body think that it needs more density, which is the weight-bearing exercise. We do have something called ostenol that we've had good results with, that is a bone morphogenic protein, which actually stimulates the bone density as well. There's even some vibration plates you can buy. There's all kind of stuff out there that does help density, but osteoporosis is definitely a big thing. And I even read something about they think some of the toxins in the air is depleting bone density. I just the other day I read that. And it was like, so unfortunately, keeping detoxified, just being overall healthy. But small women are your biggest risk.
Yeah.
Thin women, definitely. And so they got to do even extra to keep from, because you don't carry as much weight, so the bones don't have to be as dense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a caller with a question. I'm an amputee and diabetic. Ever since the amputation, I have struggled to stay on a diabetic diet. Is there any other diet I could try or any sort of therapy to help?
Well, actually, I mean, it depends on what kind of diet you've been following, because diabetic diets can vary greatly. What we tell people diabetics to eat might be different than what you might be calling a diabetic diet. We do low glycemic diet for diabetics, and we do have a sheet that you can come by and get anytime that will tell you how to eat. But you just gotta, it's harder to do, but you really need to do it for overall health. Do you have any comments on that?
Well, I guess this is more where the consult comes in with talking to someone to see like what kind of diet they're actually following. You know, we do the
I'd be curious to find out how many diets are actually out there.
Oh, bunch.
Because there are so many. People always say, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. But like you said, Dr. Bull, you got to come in and consult.
Yep.
Find out exactly what they're doing.
Now also, you asked about therapies, other therapies for diabetes, and we do. I always tell people what you eat is number one. If you eat junk and you eat sugar all day, nothing, not your medication, not your supplements, nothing is going to control it.
Right.
But we do have GSF, which is glucose support formula, and it's a combination of different nutrients to actually even help with the damage of what the sugar does to you. So it has a lot of the antioxidant effects, and it does help the damage as well as helping with the sugar itself. And then the berberine max, but that depends on what medications you're on. So that's when you come talk to us, and we'll see what you're on and what you can take with it. Now, something you can take with pretty much any medication, we have a time-released alpha-lipoic acid. And alpha-lipoic acid is great for helping sugar control, but also helping the damage done by high sugar. So we have all kind of stuff. We have in our glucose support formula, we have everything in that product separately. So it depends on the person, and that's what we're there for, and that's why we offer free consultations where you can come in, we'll talk to you specifically and look at what you need.
That's right.
Okay. This is actually Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh, okay.
So this next question falls in there perfectly. Are there any supplements or foods I should include in my diet to decrease the chance of getting colorectal cancer?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, your good foods that aren't so inflammatory, your vegetables, things like that. You know, with colorectal cancer, there's a lot of, you know, they talk about red meats and stuff like that. It's really like your processed deli meats and stuff like that you really want to watch. As far as when it comes to red meat, it can be very beneficial. Red meat has a lot of great qualities and benefits and nutrients, but you just want like your grass-fed type of red meat, your higher quality red meat.
What they're doing now to the beef is the problem. They're, you know, they're not eating what they're supposed to eat, so their composition is not what it should be. Now for colorectal cancer, for prevention, high fiber diet. You got to go to the bathroom. Do not get constipated. Horrible for the colon to stay constipated. So I tell people if that's a problem, you need to do something to rectify that. Probiotics is another beneficial thing. Like I said, fiber is definitely beneficial, and something that you can drink that has so much research for colon cancer prevention is green tea. Green tea has such good research. So that is something, and we have green tea in capsules for people that don't want to drink green tea all day, because one of our green tea max, which is the best one for prevention of like any of the cancers, you'd have to drink a bunch of cups a day. I mean, I'm talking like all day long. So there is a lot of things you can do for prevention, but fiber is something that everybody agrees on.
Okay, all right. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Got another question from a caller. We'll get to your question. And this week's special when we come back at 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. And welcome back. It's our final segment this morning. It's 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and look at what our special of the week is.
That's liver support and detox. It is so important to actually detoxify. And our liver support and detox is not just something you take just to detox. People say, oh, you do a detox every once in a while. It's something that you can take daily for daily detoxification. We'll do a lower dose for someone, just do it daily, or you can do a higher dose with somebody with a worse liver problem. But there's no doubt, we live in a toxic world. I think I say that probably every week. So living in a toxic world, it's a good idea to actually detoxify your liver. I take it myself I take 2 a day every day. So it's one that I just think people should take, and it's just so healthy for overall health. And the caller before talking about prevention of cancer, that actually keeping detoxified is one of the good things that you can do for prevention. Not to say it's going to completely eliminate chances, but it will help with toxins, and toxins, no doubt, are one of the causes of cancer. Toxins and carcinogens, which is all in our environment. So it's something that everybody could use. So.
All right. Question called in: what is the best diet pill to take? Do you have any recommendations, or should I try something else? Where is a good place to start?
Oh, okay. A place to start with weight loss is always the diet. There is no magic weight loss pill. There isn't. If there was, nobody would be overweight. So it is something that the diet plays a huge role. We do have something called the weight loss panel. We actually have blood work. That's where I would start. We actually look at the lab work. We see what reasons there is for maybe you not being able to lose weight as easy. I mean, is it diabetes? Is it a thyroid problem? Is it an adrenal problem? Is it, we look at all that. And that way we can actually kind of gear it toward you. We do have, if you wanted to say what diet pill do we have, some people, we have it's called metabolic weight management. It's not a magic pill. It helps, but it is not a magic pill. But what we have. Now, if you're diabetic, actually our glucose support formula and our berberine max that I talked about earlier actually help jumpstart weight loss if you have a sugar handling problem. If you don't, that's not what you use. That's why we do lab work to see where you should start.
All right. This next question from a viewer is perfect for me. We're actually going to be talking a lot about this on next week's show, but we're going to field your question anyway. What is a good weight loss program or exercises for joints? Dr. Bull, you exercise a lot.
Just a little bit.
A lot.
I mean, specific exercises, there's a ton of different exercises. Any exercise is great for joints. I mean, just walking. Walking's always great, but you want to strengthen the muscles. Strengthen the muscles helps bring more fluid into the joints. It's going to help the joints function better, and it's also going to help your bone density and things like that. So, any type of exercise is great. Like I said, walking, weightlifting, things like that.
I told people moving.
Yeah.
I mean, even if, say you're where you can't do a lot. I mean, you're disabled or you're sitting on the couch. Move your arms. I mean, just sit there. I mean, just move. Anything you can do is better than nothing. Now, the more you do, the better, but you can overdo it also on joints. If you go running on pavement, that is hard on the joints. I hate to say it is. You do it, but I know it is hard on the joints.
Yeah.
And it's
proper footwear.
Right, exactly.
Proper
Wear the right shoes. You're better off running on grass, which is hard.
Get behind a chair and put your hand on a chair and do squats.
Yeah,
So
squats is good.
If you can't do them on your own, that helps the joints in your knees.
There's all kinds of different things to do. Even just I tell people, start with a 10-minute walk. There's research to show that a 10-minute walk can decrease the mortality rate by 55%.
Yeah.
That's incredible for 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There really is.
Okay. Another question. Why am I itchy all the time? What causes this?
Actually, itching can be a severe health issue or a mild health issue. But if you are itching and you have not been checked out, you need to, because kidney disease and failure can make you itch because of the high magnesium. Liver failure and liver problems can make you itch. If those have been checked and they're good, I always say you rule out those first. If somebody says I'm itching all over, got to check it.
Well, maybe if they've changed something in their regimen every day, that it's something new,
right.
New lotion.
Right, that's what I said.
Like that.
And after that, you think of an allergy to something you're using, like some sort of, if you've changed something that you put on your skin or soap or detergent, or one thing we see a lot is fungal issues, yeast problems. First you rule out the real bad stuff.
Right.
After you rule out the bad stuff, actually a lot of times it is yeast. We see so many people that itch all over and it's a yeast problem. So the big thing is come talk to us. We'll kind of ask you questions. If you haven't had the liver and kidney checked, first thing to do. And then we definitely have things for yeast. You got probiotics, you got to change your diet because sugar feeds fungus and yeast. And we have stuff that kills the actual yeast. So there's a 3-step process if it is yeast and fungus, but you got to figure it out first to rule out the bad stuff.
All right. Another question. My legs jerk at night when I sleep to the point it wakes me up. Am I missing something in my daily nutrition?
Yeah, most likely. The biggest candidate there is probably magnesium, some kind of mineral deficiency. And as far as magnesium, about 80 to 85% of the population is deficient in magnesium because we're just not getting it in the diet. So magnesium is typically the first thing that hits my brain. Of course, we have like a mineral complex that we'll use sometimes, the mega minerals. So usually it's some kind of deficiency in a mineral. Magnesium's used to help kind of relax the muscles as it pulls calcium out. So that's kind of the big one.
Yep. The other mineral that can make a big difference is iron. Iron deficiency definitely kind of makes rest. I've had it in my past myself, and that was my symptoms were pain below my knees all the time when I was a kid. This has been years ago, but then they wanted to move. And so iron deficiency can definitely do it, and then B12 and folate deficiency can do it as well. So there's deficiencies, but the way you know, everything I just mentioned is checked on our lab work.
Yeah.
Okay.
It checks your iron, your B12, your folate, your magnesium. It checks it all.
Everything.
All right, another question. What is a good weight loss plan to be on for joints?
Same thing we just talked about. Getting off of packaged processed food and getting on a lower glycemic diet and eating better. I mean, if you just got to get off of processed foods, you see a big difference. And that makes a difference.
Yeah,
really.
fresh vegetables, the best,
Yeah.
great for your diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the farmers markets and everything that are open up, really good.
Yep.
Anyway, we got one more quick question. Are there any signs or symptoms for type 2 diabetes?
Thirst. Now, it depends. If it's just mild, weight gain. If it's severe, it's weight loss.
Yeah.
So it could be either one. So diabetes, there are so many things, but you definitely start getting fatigued and stressed and brain fog and name it, and it can do it.
Okay.
But if you get really thirsty and you pee all the time, that's definitely the biggest sign.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. Next week, as we mentioned, we're going to be talking about exercise and muscle health. So be sure that you tune in with us again next Monday morning at 9 o'clock here on the Doctor's Nutrition Show. Dr. Bull will be back with us here next week to talk about that as well. And, of course, wishing Dr. Jim Fox all speedy recovery from his recent surgery. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you again next week here on the Doctor's Nutrition Show. Have yourself a wonderful day.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.